Now, you know what else is hot? Or as we've been saying over and over again, and in fact, this is why we have to talk about it now on Covino and Rich, because when we filled in for Colin, we let off Friday's show talking about baseball's popping. In fact, if we were doing a drinking game on Friday, starting the weekend early, we would have had a drink or do a shot at least 75 times. We said baseball's popping at least 75 times in the first 2 hours. Baseball's popping. Baseball's popping. We've been abusing, leaning into that. Baseball's doing everything right. Trade deadline. You got the Bristol Motor Speedway game. The superstars, bro, they're marketing. We were swinging, pun intended, from the
balls of Major League Baseball.
There you go. From the Major League Baseballs. And when they're doing everything right, we're cheering. But when they do something wrong, we also have to be consistent and bring it up. Because it seems like something that was supposed to be awesome just wasn't. And is it all Major League Baseball's fault? Yes, kind of, because they weren't prepared. But we can't let Mother Nature off the hook.
Yeah. I mean, the Bristol Motor Speedway game, Danny, I remember when you first sent me the overhead of what it looked like. I'm like, man, they fit a baseball field on that racetrack. Like, almost 100,000 people.
Very cool visual.
It looked
amazing.
Cool.
On the plus side, you have to remember the reasoning, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to do special events. They did the Field of Dreams game. They've done a few different games to bring more fun to the MLB. So this year they're doing the Bristol Motor Speedway, the first ever Major League Baseball game in the state of Tennessee. So everybody's a game of baseball, not horseshoes, game of baseball in the state of Tennessee. Even
Pitbull, Mr. Worldwide, was there helping to open it up.
See?
Dude, not only Pitbull, 85,000 plus at the Bristol Motor Speedway. And it was really cool how they did it. But again, it was an unconventional field. It wasn't meant for proper drainage. They weren't expecting this much rain. And it rained, and it rained, and it delayed. And I don't know about you guys, but I was watching, and I felt so embarrassed and so sad for the fan. I felt embarrassed for MLB, even though it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
But it was like this big event, and then rain was ruined. It's like rain on your wedding day. Isn't that ironic, don't you think? And I'm like, I feel so bad. And all the fans that went there with their kids and families for the first time ever, and it's raining, and it's delayed, and it starts, and it delays again. The field's not draining, and the glisten they kept talking about. The field is glistening. And I was listening, and I was embarrassed for the whole thing. It felt so bad.
And then they are able to pick up the game the next day. So it's already sort of a fail. But again, Mother Nature.
The deflated feeling of taking your family there and all the promotion that was involved in this game to then cancel it. And I understood they had to, but they canceled the game, and everyone has to go home with their umbrellas all sogging wet and mopey and probably consoling their kids because they maybe couldn't make it back the next day.
Well, then we saw on social media some fans complaining because they ran out of hot dog buns right away. So they were serving hot dogs without the buns. Asked Joey Chestnut about that. And then what was the other complaint, Rich? Nachos without cheese.
Yeah. Without the cheese.
How you gonna have nachos without cheese?
They had cereal without the milk.
That's called
ham
chips.
Without the burger. Peanut butter, no jelly. So then they start getting criticized for not being prepared. And when you start talking about no buns, I'm out because Covino and Rich love buns.
That is true. And they start comparing it to the Fyre Festival, which was the failed music festival from a couple years back.
That's taking it a little too far.
Where they were like, remember the gourmet food was like a cheese sandwich?
Yes.
Then they were sleeping in tents?
Just within the show, we were all tuned in to watch it. Did you watch it the next day? Because I didn't.
I did not, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. So how many people out of the 85,000 that were there, all excited, with their cotton candy and their hot dog in their hand, at least I hope that was a hot dog, how many do you think went back the next day? Was it as packed? From the footage I saw, it didn't look it.
I mean, I think overall it was a great idea.
It was.
But sometimes weather,
ruined it.
You're taking, like, all right, how many times have you had a friend or, your buddy and his wife get married, and they're taking a big chance? They're like, well, cocktail hours outdoors, and I mean, if it rains, we'll try to squeeze everyone in the little reception area, but we're crossing our fingers. Those scenarios go wrong sometimes. And
So-
you hope they don't, but they do.
They do, and we call this when weather strikes because it ruined what was supposed to be a really big weekend for the MLB and all the fans in Tennessee that went to see the game. Bristol Motor Speedway. And again, is it all the MLB's fault? No, but they weren't prepared properly. So therefore, yes, but you can't control Mother Nature, and it really struck down in a big way. So was it a wedding? Was it a big party? Was it something that was special to you that was ruined because of the weather? Maybe a vacation? Because I got a story. I know Rich has a story, and we open it up to everybody at 877-99 on Fox.
Anyone that has, any outdoor event has in their life taken the risk of like, man, I hope it doesn't rain that day. I mean, that's normalcy.
I also think that at least a good thing, if you want to take a positive out of it, is, again, it highlights the fact that hot dog buns are made in 8 and hot dog packages by some companies are 10.
Yes.
And so when you see the no buns hot dog, it kind of brings this topic back to the forefront on why some major corporations cannot just make packages of 8.
Unacceptable,
It
DB.
is.
I agree with you.
It's one of the biggest unspoken schemes.
It is.
In life.
And people don't realize that no scrubs actually was no buns, but then they changed it to scrubs later on. I bet you didn't know that, Covino.
I don't
Yes.
want no buns.
Yes, that's little known music fact.
Yeah. Man, so no buns, bad weather. Covino, I remember back in the day. Now, granted, it wasn't my real only reason to go there, but my wife and I went with another couple we were friends with.
Ooh, swinger action. I'm just keeping it sports related.
Oh, yeah. We went with another couple for a little double date weekend down to South Beach. And part of the agenda was to see LeBron James play for the Miami Heat when he was in his primo days, right? When the Heat was winning. And, it was, Dwayne Wade, Bosh, LeBron. And I said, you know what? Why don't we go see a Miami Heat game? And then we're in South Beach for the whole weekend. When I tell you that whole weekend, other than the 2 hours I was in the arena watching LeBron James, it was like a torrential downpour hurricane to the point where I feel like my wife and I just sat in like the hotel lobby for 3 days just having cocktails. Like, weather can ruin a trip. How many times have you looked at your weather app when you're headed to an island or something and you're like, oh.
Dude, I want you to play along at home. In fact, everybody, if you're in the car, you're on the iHeartRadio app, wherever you are, pull over to the side or at your next stoplight, or when you get home.
Pull
if you're home,
over.
pull out your phone. Pull out your phone right now. Rich, Danny, DB, Dan Byer on the update, Sam, everybody pull out their phone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm heading to Orlando. I'm in New Jersey right now, visiting my family, celebrating my birthday week, and then I'm heading to Florida with my daughter on Wednesday, right? Wednesday night. Look up the weather in Orlando. And again, it's Florida. I get it. But please look at the forecast in Orlando for when I'm there later this week.
Do you mean the days where you're planning on being at an amusement park all day?
Everybody, take out your phone.
Yeah.
Pull out the weather app. It's nothing but lightning and clouds and rain every day on there. And I get it. With tropical weather, sometimes it could be an afternoon shower, and then the rest of the day is beautiful, so you never know. But every single day,
It's
and
like
then on
you're
Monday,
it's like you're bringing it with you.
yo, dude, and then I leave on Monday, and you look at Monday, sunshine. Dude, it's ridiculous.
Oh, no.
And, dude, my daughter never has gone to Disney World. I'm trying to make this my last hurrah because she's going to be 16, and she's not going to want to hang with dad anymore. So I'm like, I'm really going to make this a special daddy-daughter weekend. It's going to be great. She shows me the forecast. She's like, Dad, the weather's going to suck. And I feel like such an asshat now.
Well, you can't predict that.
Hey, and neither could the MLB. See what I'm saying? But it happens.
Yeah.
Mother Nature strikes. What's your story? 877-99 on Fox. I can't tell you. I'm not exaggerating. You'll see it later. If you look up the weather in Orlando next week, every day, showers, storms, every day except for the day I leave on Monday.
You don't have to be worried about getting wet on Splash Mountain.
Exactly. Like, how weak is that?
You'll be fine.
Electrocuted.
Yeah, and at least there's only 60% of the days that have thunder and lightning. So
Yeah,
you've got
see?
that. Those the other 40% you're just wet.
Yo,
you're just not
thank
going to be electrocuted.
Yo, DB, how many times, like, I feel like as a kid, that overcast, not sure if the baseball game's going to be played, was anxiety-ridden as a little kid. You're a golfer.
Like that misty feeling.
How many times have you been on the fence? Like, do I go? Do I not? Is the weather going to hold up? Like, golfing is a big thing because you're committing to hours on a course.
Yes. People plan trips in certain ways. I've thought about this a lot. Like, if you go to the mecca of all golf trips is you go play St. Andrews in Scotland, the home of golf. That's what I think anybody who loves the game would love to do. And I've thought about this, like, what are the odds that you get a perfect day in Scotland?
Scotland's very. I picture Scotland as overcast permanently.
Yes, with winds blowing, which is the defense of the golf course. But you're absolutely right. Like, you are at the mercy. And I've thought about this, whether it be golf or other stuff. I've thought about, like, you were talking about Miami. We're all bound to have bad vacations at some point, but you never ever going into them think it's going to be that one, and that's the disappointment of it. So I was thinking to myself, gosh, we're going to plan a vacation and it's going to stink at some point. Which
it's
one is
inevitable.
it going to? Yeah, it absolutely is. But weather is a huge deal, especially when you're trying to play golf. But that's also part of the genius of it when I mentioned St. Andrews.
You're so right, because a lot of times people chalk up weather to like eye-rolly small talk, like, oh, the weather. But weather does play such a huge factor in your vacations, in sports. I'm going to take you back to
the only game ever played in Tennessee.
Yeah, and the only game ever played. Do you remember last year? I remember. You guys probably don't give a crap, but do you remember the last week of the season? The Mets and Braves were like tied for first place, and they had a 3-game series, and the whole thing was washed out. They had to do a doubleheader and all that. So, like, it could cramp sports. It could cramp a golf weekend. Imagine you get so little vacation. You're like, honey, we're going to Aruba, Mexico, Florida, and you finally have a chance away from the kids. You're picturing romance, sunny beaches, and you're sitting in a lobby watching a downpour. I think we've all been there one time, and if not, DB pointed out, then you're due.
Yes, it's going to happen one time or another, for sure.
Well, I felt so bad for everybody. I felt bad for the MLB, especially after we were just singing its praises, how MLB had done no wrong, and they're back in a big way. Now it's getting all this Fyre Fest stigma stuck to this game, and it makes me think of another story, Rich. You remember this story. It's my sister's, my girlfriend's sister and her husband went to Chichen Itza, and they went, no, not Chichen Itza, Peru. Come on, help me out. Peru, everybody.
Sam's our Peru expert.
Sam,
on.
Peru.
Peru.
What would you see in Peru, Sam?
I think you're good with Peru, Covino. I don't think you have to.
No, it's a famous landmark.
There once was a man from Peru.
No. Machu Picchu.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Right?
That is correct.
I said Chichen Itza, that's Mexico.
Is that a Pokemon my kid likes? Machu Picchu?
Oh, Machu
so they
Picchu.
went
Thank
to
you.
Machu Picchu, but
Machu
they
Picchu.
went all out. And I don't know, maybe they went to Lake Titicaca. But they were going all out, right?
Yeah.
And they went all overboard where they were so involved, and we're going to go to Machu Picchu and everything. And, dude, they went and got to the top of the mountain on an overcast, cloudy day. It was full-on fog to the point where they couldn't see their nose in front of their face. They couldn't see anything. So you're going there to take pictures and sightsee. If there's any sort of inclement weather, however you want to say it, and there's fog and mist and rain, it could really put a damper on everything.
No doubt.
So that's what happened this weekend.
Our buddy Mauser hit us up, and he goes, all our friends from the West Coast flew into Kentucky for the Derby. We had a whole day planned. They dressed to the nines, and they were underneath cheap-ass ponchos all day. One of the derbies over the last couple of years was just disgusting. So
that's misery.
It's
dude.
inevitable that it'll happen.
Anytime you have to bust out a goofy-ass poncho like that at a game or a vacation, it's like Mother Nature was not on your side. The gods were against you, and that's exactly what happened. When weather strikes, and it did this weekend at the Bristol Motor Speedway, wah, wah. And I would love to get this stat. If we could call our friends at the Elias Sports Bureau, or Danny G, if you could look this up. Maybe Dan Byer knows, because he knows all. 85,000 plus showed up that first day. How many showed up the second day? Because when I saw some of the highlights, It looked a little sparse. It didn't look as packed as it did the day before.
Yeah, they only had the listed attendance as 91,000, so I don't know if that's taken from the previous day.
It was.
No, you know what it is? That was
Yeah.
the first day,
So-
and then 11, and then only 6,000 showed up the next day.
Yeah, they're not showing any listing for Sunday's attendance.
See, because it looked weak. It's so sad, dude. I felt so bad about that.
They had an off day. Did they have an off day? Was scheduled? Because it was something like that. Like you have to kind of plan for rain.
Yeah.
They do it at the beginning of the year, so I don't think that they were scheduled to play on Sunday. I will say this, Covino, specifically with I'm sure Orlando may not be top 3 of the places you'd like to go, but there are times when you go on a vacation that you aren't necessarily looking forward to. It turns out better than you expected. So that is the other side of the coin from what we're talking about.
True.
So as you go in thinking that the forecast is going to be bad, you could have an entire break and it could make the day that much better.
Sometimes it shocks you. I mean, not that we were going to play Let's Look at the Weather, but you remember a couple weeks ago, Covino, I was in New York with my family?
Yeah.
Leading up to that week, every day, including the day when I was bringing my kids to Citi Field to see the Mets for the first time, that whole week said rain in New York, and somehow last minute it just sort of went around. So, maybe you get lucky, man. But again, we've all been
Maybe
on.
if I pray really, really hard, I could have fun on the teacups.
Well, on How I Met Your Mother, Ted prayed for rain and it happened. Maybe you pray for rain and it doesn't happen. We'll see.
That's right.
But yeah, no, weather plays a factor. And it's an interesting thought. I wonder how many crucial games were the result of a day they weren't supposed to happen. And I only know this one, obviously, because I'm a Mets fan. But you remember 86, Game 6, obviously gets by Buckner. The famous Mookie Wilson ball goes under Bill Buckner's legs.
Of course.
That was Game 6. Everyone thinks, is that when the Mets won the World Series? No, that was Game 6. Game 7 was scheduled for the next day, and it was rained out. That Game 7 was pushed back a couple days. So the reality is, at that time, apparently the sentiment was, all right, well, the Red Sox got a break because they get a chance to sort of mentally reset. Mets still won Game 7, but a lot of times a crucial game will be postponed, and you don't realize what would have happened.